At this point, the wine is almost finished fermenting, but the yeast still has work to do. If it smells a bit yeasty and sharp, don't worry, it's going to turn out just fine. After waiting the specified period in the instructions, it's time to use your thief to draw a sample and check it with your hydrometer. Make sure you look in the instructions and that reading is correct. A little lower than specified is okay, but higher isn't. If you start to stabilize a wine before it's finished fermenting, you could have all kinds of problems. So draw the sample and make sure you test it. Looks good. If you want to know your alcohol content, now is the time to calculate it. Look up your initial specific gravity from where you've written it down, subtract the gravity reading you just took, and then multiply the result by 131. For example, if your starting gravity was 1.090 and your finishing gravity was 0.995 at fining and stabilizing, the difference between the two is 1.095. Discard the 1 to the left of the decimal place and multiply the result, 0.095 times 131. The answer is 12.445, or roughly 12.5% alcohol by volume. This is by far the easiest and most accurate way to determine the actual alcohol content of your home wine. Congratulations! It's wine! Check your instructions and gather up your additives. There are 2 stabilizers, metabisulfite and sorbate, and a fining agent, either isinglass or chitosan. Keep in mind there might be more than one package of each of them. If there are, be sure to add them all. By far the best way to add the finings and stabilizers is to dissolve them in about ½ a cup of cool water. This makes sure they're completely dissolved before they go into the wine. The stabilizers and additives need to be added separate from each other. It would be more convenient to just dump everything in at once, but the fining agents would glom up with the stabilizers and render them ineffective. So be sure to add both stabilizers first, stir them vigorously for 2 minutes, and then add the finings. This is where the drill-mounted whip is really going to come in handy. Unless you've got arms like tree trunks, you'll appreciate the convenience and ease of using the whip to degas. Remember, how well the wine clears and how good it tastes is going to depend on getting all the gas out. If you don't have a drill-mounted stirring whip, go back and stir by hand a lot. Keep that stirring up. This section is for those wines that came with an F-Pack or Seuss Reserve Pack. If your kit doesn't contain one, go ahead and hit the chapter button on your player and skip this bit. It's mainly white wines that come with F-Packs, so that's why this isn't a red wine. Make sure there's room in your carboy for the contents of the pack. You may need to remove a couple of cups, around 500 milliliters of wine, for this purpose. Reserve this wine for topping up the carboy at the end of the fining and stabilizing process. Shake the bag, carefully remove the cap, and gently pour the contents into the carboy. Finally, shake up the contents of the fining packages, which is chitosan or isinglass. Carefully cut open the corner of the pouch or pouches. There may be more than one. Check your instructions. Pour contents into your carboy. Stir vigorously for another 2 minutes to drive off the carbon dioxide gas. Alright, at this point, top up the carboy within 2 inches of the bottom of the bung to reduce the amount of surface area of wine exposed to the atmosphere. This will reduce the exposed area of wine that could pick up oxygen and spoil. You can use cool water or reserved wine from the F-Pack step, if you've got that available. Finally, ensure the airlock is filled halfway with water and reattach the bung and airlock to the carboy. Put the carboy back in your fermenting area and wait the specified number of days, usually a couple of weeks, for the wine to clear.